Good afternoon, Anshika. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm fine, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Purushottam. Anshika, I'm making you a co-host. Uh,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I've joined through two devices. Uh, आप दोनों को बना देना.
अच्छा जी. I'll ask Purushottam. Purushottam,
Ma'am, YouTube Live is
Yes,
on
ma'am.
अभी.
अंशिका को दोनों जो अंशिका ने दो जगह से लॉगिन किया है, प्लीज उसको को-होस्ट बना दो.
Okay, okay.
मैं और वो हैं अब. तुम सिस्टम छोड़ सकते
Yes,
हो.
ma'am.
तुम जाना है ना यूनिवर्सिटी. नाउ यू कैन लीव.
Okay. Okay, okay,
अंशिका
ma'am.
और मैं दोनों हैं.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है. Anshika, now you are the co-host in both the systems, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, currently अभी YouTube Live है.
अंशिका क्या कह रहे हो बेटा?
मैम, अभी YouTube Live हो रहा है.
ठीक है. We will be starting in a minute, na? I'll
Yes,
just.
ma'am. हम सर आ गए.
Sir, can we start, sir?
सर आपका म्यूट है.
अब आ रहे हैं?
जी सर, अब आ रही है आवाज. सर स्टार्ट करें सर.
हाँ, स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं.
So we welcome you again to this next session on the topic data analysis using SPSS. We have with us again Professor C.P. Gupta sir. He'll be continuing with the session, sir. अंशिका अपना कैमरा ऑन कर लो ना एक बार.
Okay, so
मैम नेटवर्क इश्यूज हैं, वो डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा है. इसी
कोई
वजह से
नहीं.
दो
Should I
डिवाइसेस से
go?
ज्वाइन किया हुआ है.
Should I go for it? Should I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, friends, again, welcome back to this session on data analysis using SPSS. Now, this is a session which will help us in analysis of the data by using a software which is called SPSS. So, I mean, you just imagine that the questionnaire is designed, it has been administered, and you have the data in your hand. Then how to process and analyze the data by using a software which is called SPSS. That's the agenda for this particular session. Okay. To have an enriched learning experience, that's I wish to all of them, you have to learn nothing but learning. And again, I request all of you don't feel you know any kind of hesitation in asking questions. You can put your questions in the chat box, and I will love to answer those questions. Okay, right? Before I go further, Mr. Negi, you had a question in the earlier session. Can you tell me what it was? I don't remember that question. I said I will be taking it later on.
Sir, shall I unmute him, sir?
Do that. Good afternoon, everyone.
Uh, Dr. Negi, sir,
Hello,
you can talk now.
hello. मैं थोड़ी
And
देर
ask the
में
question, sir.
मैं कॉल करता हूँ थोड़ी देर में बाद में. Okay.
Dr. Vivek, sir, you can
Okay.
ask the question now.
Okay, we can put the questions in the chat box. Let me continue. So first, learning, never miss an opportunity to learn. And the fact you people have joined this particular workshop, that shows your intense desire to learn. And you are going to make best utilization of this opportunity for learning. All the best to all of you. Have a happy learning. Have a good learning. Okay, and give your best for the workshop learning, for the learning in the workshop, and your cooperation will be highly appreciated in this regard. So friends, welcome you to the world of SPSS, and that's what we are going to talk about. So learning SPSS, that's the agenda for this particular session. And we are going to talk about three things about SPSS. One, preparing data in SPSS for further analysis. That the one challenge number one, which we are going to have. Getting a feel about the data, that means we will be talking about descriptive data, graphs and charts. That's the agenda number two. These two will be talking about today in this session. And tomorrow we'll be talking about hypothesis testing using SPSS. That's for the tomorrow. And somebody is saying that my screen is not seen, Dr. Manish. I don't know why you are not able to see it. Okay, great. So plus what you dare to wish, and whatever you want to discuss, without any hesitation, you can ask me the question. So now let's get ready for the preparation for the data using SPSS. That is the challenge, prepare data for SPSS. Okay, that's the challenge. But first, let's understand SPSS stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. But nowadays, we talk about only SPSS. We hardly use the full form of it, that is Statistical Package for Social Sciences. SPSS was initially developed in 1965 at Stanford University in California, and then it was marketed, commercialized by SPSS Incorporation. It's a leading and widely used data analysis package in the area of social sciences. To begin with, SPSS was DOS-based, and later on it was window-based. And latest is 25, and now SPSS is being purchased by IBM, so it is called IBM SPSS. When IBM bought it, it renamed as PASW, Predictive Analytics Software, but it was not catching in the academia, so therefore they come back and they renamed it as IBM SPSS. So now let's start with SPSS and analysis of data using SPSS. But an advice to begin with: the best way to learn SPSS is sit on a computer having SPSS software. experiment with it, play with it, and that's how you can learn it. Without doing a uh, somebody is complaining that he is not able to hear me. Is it so? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, your voice is completely audible to us.
Okay, okay.
I request participants who are unable to listen and see the screen, please reconnect and check your network connectivity. Thank you.
Another advice is the best way to get the maximum out of SPSS is visualize in your mind what is to be done and how it is to be done. Many times we do not, understand what exactly we want. If you don't understand what you want, SPSS also doesn't understand what you want. So be clear in your mind what exactly you're looking forward, what exactly you want as an output. If you have that clarity in your mind, only then you can get the best out of SPSS. So visualize first in your mind what exactly you want to do with SPSS. Okay. So let's get ready for SPSS. Open the SPSS and activate the same. And when you activate it, you will get the first screen, which is similar to this. That the first screen you will see when the moment you open it up. Every column you will find is meant for variables. So columns are used for variables. Rows are used for responses. So data structure is like this. Respondent number 1, 2, 3. That's in the rows.
आपकी सिर्फ एक्सेल की शीट आ रही है उस पे सिर्फ वो रेड से आपने विजिबल है
क्या शीट आ
सॉरी
रही
टू
है?
इंटरप्ट
क्या शीट आ रही है?
सर एक्सेल की शीट आ रही है आपकी
ये
एक्सेल की
SPSS की शीट है।
सॉरी सर SPSS की या इट इज विजिबल नाउ सर या इट इज विजिबल नाउ सर थैंक यू सर
So in rows we write the responses, and suppose we are getting the information about age, income, expenditure, then that will be stored in columns. That's the data structure you will see in SPSS. Okay, right? And by default they put variable, and you have to define variable name. And to define variable name, you have to go to a view which is called variable view. Click on the variable view and go on defining your variables. That's the first screen you will get as soon as you open SPSS. And I'm starting with the beginning because I don't know how many of you are already conversant with it, but I start with the assumption that many of you will be seeing this screen for the first time. Okay. The open view is the data view where you can see your data, you can edit your data, you can copy your data, you can paste your data, you can delete your data. All those things you will find in the data view. When you go to the variable view, in that variable view, you can define the variables, their characteristics, all those things you can define. Okay. Let's see what we find in the variable view. Variable view, you define first name. Name of the variable should not have any special character like hash, dash, at the rate, dollar. No special characters are allowed in naming the variable. Okay. Then we have type, whether it is decimal, percentage, like that. Width of the number which you are going to use, decimal points in that, and label of the variable. Say variable may be sales, and the label of the variable may be sales in rupees crores. That will be the label. Label is one that specify or give you detail about the nature of the variable which you have defined for the SPSS. SPSS recognizes the variable and labels is in the front for us as a user. Okay. Then we have what is called values. I will come back to it. What is value? And then we have, I will come back to it. Then if you have some missing value, you can use it. This is the length of the column. In data view, alignment means whether you want right align, central align, and measure whether your data is nominal or ordinal or scale. Then role, normally we do not use about role, but it takes whether you are going to use it as input or something like that. Okay. So that's how you can define a particular variable with all its characteristics. This view is used to enter and edit data. That is called the data view. Okay. That's the data view which you will see. Here you can enter your data, edit your data, and manage your data. So let's do some practice about it and see how we can, learn about preparation of the data in SPSS. But before that, again, I say you must remember about the type of the data which we have: nominal, ordinal, interval scale, and ratio scale. SPSS put them together in one category and called it as scale data. Okay, so Dr. Adfar is asking me what is width and decimal. I show what is width and decimal. When I go to SPSS, suppose I define a variable sales, okay, type numeric, comma, dot scientific, and then width is 8, decimal place is 2. What does it mean? It means that the number which I'm going to enter is having 8 places 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and two places are meant for decimals. That's what it means. Okay, okay, Dr. Edward. Then just a minute. Okay, so if you want to give a label, you can give a label. And I can write a label here, sales in crores. Okay, then nothing missing, column this, right alignment. If you want center, measures is scale, input is the nature, and you will see here the sales is being created. Now you can enter data here, anything which you want. You can delete them by pressing the delete. What is role? Role is when you do some kind of a modeling there, you need to define what variable will be considered as input, what will be target, okay, what will be the basis on which you are going to split. All those things you can define, but that is not normally required. Uh, Sales and sales level. Okay, what I mean by this is sales is the name of the variable, and the name of the variable is used by SPSS. On the other hand, when I say, sales in crores, that's a label for the user and not for the SPSS. SPSS doesn't recognize, the labels. It recognizes the variable. Okay. Uh, I don't know why somebody is not saying the measure option. I really don't know. But uh, Binu, have you selected the type which is number, numeric? Select the numeric and then you see this scale option will pop up. Okay. Sorry. Then you go to data view and start editing the data and prepare the write. Uh, Arvinda Dhara is asking, can I write the special characters in the label? Yes, you can write in the label. Friends, it is label and not the level. Please understand that difference. Okay. So you can add here 158. You can copy it by using Control C and paste Control V. that you can do. I can copy them, I can paste them here. Control C, Control V works as you work. Virendra Jain is asking, can we import data from Excel file? Yes, you can. I will show you also how do we do that. Okay, right? So if you defined a variable, say gender, then gender is numeric and I don't require any decimal for the gender. So I make, because the gender is going to take a value 1 and 2, and so I don't require any decimal for it. So I put 0 there. Then I can, if you want to give a label, you can give a label gender of the respondent. And you can enlarge it, enlarge the column by stretching the column. Now let me explain the function of value, which is very, very important. Rudra, string variable cannot be converted into numeric in SPSS. If you try to do it, it will start behaving in a very different manner and maybe create some problem in the data. So don't do that. Okay, so we have 1, that means male, 2 means female. That is the coding system we have adopted. Okay, so when you code, you may be remembering what is 1, what is 2, but if you look at the same data after 6 months, 2 months, maybe it is likely that you are not able to remember what I took as 1, what I took as 2. And therefore, it is better you label your values. And to label your values, you have to click on value. Then if it is 1, I can give it a label, male, add, enter, 2, then female, add. So whenever you type 1, it will be understood as male, 2, that will be understood as female. And that's the advantage of this. And I show you how do we do that. Suppose I enter here 1, 1, and you see what you get. If you write 22, it will not take anything. Okay, there is a button which you can see in your SPSS, that is this. I don't know, are you able to see this button or not? This acts like a toggle key. If you click, you will find labels are appearing. If you click it again, you will see we have the 1 or numbers. Okay, that you can see from here. So if I click, see, I get numbers. Click it again, I get the labels. So that's how you can see the labels and the numbers. Okay. Another important thing which you have to understand is, sorry, one row for one respondent. Please understand this. You cannot have different rows for one respondent. It's not that you're using row 1, row 2 for one respondent. No, that's not allowed in well-defined data structure. One row is meant one and only one respondent. Okay, and you have the variables which are there for each responses. Okay, so that's how we find it. That's how we look at it. So let's take another variable and define it. Suppose I take agreement, right? And suppose I say whether you agree or you don't agree. So I don't want decimal places, so I make it 0. Okay, and the response is do you agree with increase in fee? That's the question, which is a label. It's not a variable, it's a label for that particular. And suppose I say 1 is agree, 2 is disagree. So I can give the values here. 1 agree, add, 2 disagree, and then add. And then you say okay. And there now you can add the data here. 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry. Like this. Right? Any question about the data entry? Normally, we don't prefer SPSS data entry. We believe that you create your database in some software like Excel, and from there you can import it. Okay. Ashik Hussein is asking me, how do we treat missing values? Suppose a respondent does not give a response to the gender. How do we take care of it? We get no response from a gender. Okay, what does it mean? Suppose we get no response for gender. Agreement. When you say no response, that means that value is a missing value. If you have a missing value, then what should we do? Can we do something about it? Missing value? Andita, can you tell me what should we do with the missing value? Andita, are you there? Normalization, no, no. We don't insert the toggle key. Toggle key is there in the species itself. That's not my own creation. Yes, you can take the data by whatever variable name you are creating. Okay, so no response means no missing value. We have a missing value. Now, if you only keep blank, now how that blank will be read by the software? Will it be taken as null? Will it be taken as zero? Very difficult to say. If you don't write anything, the behavior of the software is different for that, the blank. Some take it as zero, some take it as a null, as a character, some take it, missing, we don't know. To take care of it, what we do, you can make a code and say that any number which is 9, that's my creation 9. You can take any number. You can take 999, 49, or any number, whatever you think will be fitted for you for defining the missing variable, and then declare this 9 as missing. So when you process that particular variable and SPSS come across with 9, then SPSS will ignore it and will not process it. That's the advantage of declaring something as the missing, and that you can define when you look at this. For example, I define here as a missing variable discrete 9. Okay, then if you put 9 here, then it will not be treated as a part of the data, it will be treated as a missing value. So for example, if I want to make a say bar chart, for example, okay, that's the nominal data. This is also my nominal data. So if I make a bar chart like this, so gender on axis, so we were making 9 missing. Sorry, I think missing I defined in the do you agree? So take it back, enter. Now there was some missing values, and that missing values is not coming here. I just show you here again. Agreement data variable. Suppose I put 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and I make a graph again. And you'll find there is no missing value here. Okay, regarding the graphs, I will come back again. Don't worry about it. If you're not able to understand it, how I made it, don't worry. I will come back to it again. Andita, you tell me, are you able to talk to me, or should we unmute you, Andita? Okay, so question is, what should we do with the missing value? Should we drop it? Should we not drop it? That's one of the biggest questions researchers are normally, confronting with. But in this
Sir, sorry
regard,
to interrupt.
yes,
Sir, I have given permission to Anandita. She can
Chakravarti,
unmute and
Anandita
talk to you now.
Chakravarti,
Yes, sir.
Anandita Chakravarti.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hi,
So this
Andita?
was my question. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes. How you are doing?
Sir, I'm fine.
Great, great, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me talk something about missing value. Suppose I have sales data, right? And I have years here 1990, 91 up to 2019. So I have all years data. Suppose I don't have data for 2015. We have no such data. That's missing. Okay. Let me take another variable, income of respondent. And when we are asking income of the respondent has not given me any response. So, Andita, I'm asking you a question. Do you see a difference between the missing value and a non-response value?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is that difference?
Yes, sir. I can't hear you. Hello.
I'm asking, do you appreciate the difference between no response and missing value?
Yes, sir.
What is that
The
difference?
respondent is not interested to give the data about that.
Right. And when I take the sales data, there is a missing value. So this sales data can be filled up by taking some kind of an average. Okay. But for a
Yes, sir.
particular respondent who refused to respond, you can't take the average.
Right, sir.
You have to ignore it. So
Yes,
friends,
sir.
you have to take a call whether average will be suitable to fill the gap or some other number should be used to fill the gap, or this is something which is not existing at all and therefore you are getting no response from it. Okay. Another example, suppose you are asking, are you married or not? And somebody gives you no response. Then
Yes, sir.
you can't build up by taking something or the other. Okay. So you have to be careful and you have to take a call. All the people I'm saying again, if there is some missing value, you have to take a call. Is it a case not applicable? Is it a case of no response? Is it a case that you have information from which you can generate the missing value? And accordingly, you decide what is to be done with the missing
Uh,
value. Okay?
Sir, I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes.
Like in case of sales data, I have seen many people. Hello.
Yes. Yes. I'm hearing you.
Yes, sir. In case of sales data and in case of secondary data, yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, I have seen many of the studies. They extrapolate the missing value. Is it ethical to do that?
They can do that. They can do it. You are making a very
Okay.
strong assumption that the behavior which is reflected in the sales data is same, is not going to change. So
Okay, sir. Thank you.
nothing unethical about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You can do it. Okay, so these are the things I think you must understand while preparing the data for. Okay. Then this I think I should skip. And now let's do to some more advanced steps. Our next problem for practice is attitude of the parent towards the education system in India, a case study. And data is being collected, and data is being collected on these parameters. We have identification number of the respondent, and then we have the questions, these questions, which have been asked about from the respondent. Okay, so the name of the file is Attitude Towards Educational System. It's, I think, SPSS file. Yes, Tushni, you can keep 10 for non-response, and you can tell the SPSS by clicking on the missing variable, defining their 10, that 10 is my missing value. So whenever 10 comes across for that particular variable, SPSS will not process. Okay, is that clear, Tushni? So friends, let me open up that particular file. Attitude Towards Educational System. It's an SPSS file. Please open up in your system if you have this particular file, and we will work on this particular file. And if you don't want to see the labels, you can click here. You see the numbers, labels, numbers, labels. That's how you can do it. File will be open only when you have SPSS in your system. If you don't have SPSS in your system, you cannot open up the file. Let's see what we can do for this particular data file. So we are preparing data for our analysis one, which we can do, what we can do for data for recoding the data. Like you have the age data, and you want to recodify the data into age groups like this: less than 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and more than 60. Okay, so I will do uh, 4 classification: 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, and above 60. I think the challenge is here. I don't know if Dr. Anita Nigam, if you have SPSS, please check whether you have older version or not. If it is an older version, then it may be a problem. Okay, so we have age variable, and we want to, recode it. For recoding it, what you have to do, you have to go to transform, because I'm transforming my data. Then it says recode. Okay, so then it is asking me, go to transform, and then you say recode, and it is giving you 2 options, whether should you record it in the same variable or in the different variable. Record into the different variable or the same variable. So normally what we do, we keep the original variable and we recode it into the new different variable. Let's see how do we do it. My input variable, output variable, they are asking me. My input variable is the age, which I want to codify. So I give a name, recode age. You can give any name, whatever you want. Label is optional, and if you want to give a label, you can give the label. That's your choice. I'm not going to give it. Then it says old and new values. Click on it. Value. Range. Lowest through 20. I give a value 1, code 1. So I'm giving code 1 for all values which are from the minimum to 20. And I add it. Then I take the range that's from 20 to 40. SPSS understand that we are using the exclusive class interval. I give it a code of 2 and then 40 to 60. I give it a code 3 and then range value through highest from 60 to above. I give it a code of 4. Add. Change. Okay. And you'll find a new variable is being created, and you get the code, age code here. A new variable is being created. And that's how you can do the recording of the variable. And if you go to the variable view, you can see it. A new variable is being created. If you don't want decimal, reduce the decimal place. Now you can add the labels also. Suppose I say 1 is less than 20, 2 is 20 to 40, 3 is 40 to 60, and 4 is 60 and above. I've given the labels also. And now you can see in the data view the range and the labels. That's how you can recode it. Okay. If you want to rank the data in SPSS, like you have the hours of study and you want to give the rank, the hours spent on the studies in a week, rank 1 means lowest hours of study. Then let's see how do we do it. Go to SPSS, go to transform, rank cases. Do you see this option? We are transforming the data. Now we are transforming the data into ranks. So go to the option transform, rank cases. The variable which I'm taking for ranking is hours spent. Okay. 1 is the smallest value. See here. And then you say, okay. And you will find a new variable is being created in the name of rank hours study. And these are the ranks which we get. So if you want that we can have the ranks of a particular variable, you can create the ranks. Okay. Raghunath Saket is asking me, how do we do the recoding? You go to the transform, recode into different variable, define the name and the labels, and then you go to the old and new values and define the range. And whatever range you define, you give a code new value to it, and that's how you can define the coding for a particular variable. So we have learned recoding, we have learned ranking. Now let's take, if you want to do some calculation in SPSS, how can you do it? Say for example, I want to take the total of these all attributes. Okay, and how can we do it? That we want to find out. And we also want to find the average of the same. So go to data, sorry, transform data. Then go to compute variable. Then what is your target variable? You have to define. Suppose I take sum total as my variable name. Okay. Then numeric expression is what? This attitude. You double click on it. You'll find the expression is going to the numeric expression window. Plus second, plus third, plus fourth, plus fifth, plus sixth, plus seventh. And you can do all kind of calculations here. You can multiply, you can divide, okay? You can take the exponent. You can create all kinds of, like functions here. You can take log, you can take natural log, base 10, all these calculations you can do here. Okay, so now if you say okay, then the sum total variable is being created, and that is your sum total here. In the same manner, you can calculate the average for the variable for which you want. Okay. Suppose we, hello, 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 नहीं अभी नहीं लगेगा आधा घंटा. Assume that we want to do processing only for the respondents who are female. So it's a challenge of telling SPSS that select only those cases that are related to female respondents, and then you do the analysis. So many times you don't want to process the whole data, you want to process data related to a particular case. So for example, friends, one thing you have to remember in SPSS, all data processing, statistical processing, which you want to do in SPSS, for that you have to go to analyze. That's important. All mathematical processing is available under the option of analyze. Okay, suppose I want to calculate some averages, etc. Suppose I want to find out average of the descriptives of, descriptive statistics about age, for example. Or let's take frequency of the gender. So we have male 55 and female 44, total 99. Okay. If you want to get the analyze, you want to get the descriptives about, say, age, for example. So minimum is 99, now minimum is 18, maximum 75, mean is this. That's for the total cases. But now I want to select data only for the female, and I want to do the processing about female. For that, what you have to do, you go to data, and in that data, you select the option, select cases. And when you do it, you will be prompted for this selected cases. If my gender is 1, then now something interesting you will find here. Do you see this? Sorry. I think I have taken male as 1, female as 2. So those which are not selected, they have been ignored, cancelled. And you get a, at the bottom, you will get a message filter on, and that means there is, case of selection, this filter on. So that means cases are being selected here. Now, whatever processing you will do now onwards, that will be applicable only to the selected cases. So for example, I show you here, if I do the analyze, I take the average descriptive statistics, and now we get only for 55. Okay, age of the family members accompanying the check, 55. That's meant for those cases which have been selected as male. Okay, that's how you can select. You can say data, select cases. Suppose I say all, then you will find that filter sign has gone, and now you can process on all the data. Suppose I want to select cases of age. If age is delete this. If the age of the family member is less than 40, I want to select only those cases where the age is less than 40. If I calculate the descriptive statistics, now you will find only 32 people are there having age less than 40. Their mean is 18, maximum 39, mean is 31.97. That's how you can take care of this. And please remember, as long as your filter is on, as long as you see this sign, that means processing will be done only on it. If you want to deselect them, the process is same. Go to data, select cases, and now you click on all cases, and that filter sign will off. Okay. Now, if you want to split or group the data, you want to do processing for female separately and male separately. How you can do that? And you want both the outputs simultaneously. So for example, Assume that we want to do processing simultaneously, male and female respondents, but separately. In that case, we have to split the file. In earlier cases, I was doing processing only for a particular case. Now I want to do for both the cases simultaneously, but separately. How do we do it? Let's look at this. You go to data again, split the file, and split the file by using gender, compare groups by gender, and then if I select, if I take the descriptive, and now you get the descriptive for male separately and for female separately. So all processing which you are going to do now will be done separately. If I make a bar chart, suppose I make say histogram, for example, histogram of the age. Now you will get two different histograms, one for male and one for female, because the file is split. So when you split the file, then processing will be done on separate groups but simultaneously. And many times we do this kind of analysis. And if you want to come back and you don't want to split the file, you go back, split file, analyze all cases, okay. Now split file is off. That's the message that you get. And many times you can give the weights to your data, but for that weights are required. And according to the weights, you can assign the, I don't have the weighting variable here, but nevertheless, you go to data, weight cases, and you can weight cases by selecting a particular variable. So many times you don't want to take simple average, you want to take weighted average. So weights have to be assigned. And for that, you should have a variable which will be used for weighting cases. Okay. So that's how you can prepare your data with SPSS. You can split, you can select cases, you can recode, you can do some calculations within SPSS. Okay, right? Let's see what is next. We are going to do. We are going to get a feel about the data by looking at the descriptive statistics and graphs and charts. Okay, you can make different charts with the SPSS, and you can also make the tables. There are two ways to describe your data, one through graphs, another by making tables. Sheetal is asking, can I draw histogram and frequency curve in the same graph? The answer is yes. Sheetal, you can do that. And I will be showing you how can you do that. And you can make different charts. You can have plain bar charts, clustered bar charts, stacked bar charts, histogram, line chart, scatter plot, and so on. You get a different charts. Okay, so let's see how we can create charts. So there is a utility which is called graph. You go to the graph. I think you are able to see it. That's the graph which you have here. Click on the graph, and chart builder is there. Okay, so I want to make a scatter plot, for example, between the age of the first you have to select the graph. the scatter plot, the simple scatter plot. On y-axis, I want to put the, on x-axis, I want to put the age, just pick and drop. And the art sprint, I want to put on y-axis. That's it, done. And your scatter plot is ready. If you want to make a histogram, you can do that. Go to Graph, Chart Builder, pick up the histogram, bar chart, take it back. That's the graph we want. And suppose I want to make the histogram of the age, take to the x-axis. If you want to have the display of the normal curve, Shetal, please look at this option, display of the normal curve. Tick it, and then you say, okay. I think I have not applied it. I have to apply it. And then you say, okay, and you will see the graph with a line. Sheetal, is that clear? And if you want to make a bar chart, somebody was asking me how to make a bar chart. So suppose I take bar chart, select, click on it, and suppose I want to make the attitude towards this. To get a bar chart. Okay, so quick, so comfortable, pick and drop. That's it. You have to do. If you have to make, the pie chart, for example, double click on it. Attitude towards, suppose I take the age group. So pick up the recode age, put it here. If you want in count, you can take count. If you want in percentage, you can take the percentage. Apply. Okay. Now you get the graph. Okay. I hope you will be able to prepare the graph. Very simple, easy, pick and drop. That's what you can do. While making the graph in chart, please remember the measures of the data should be properly defined. For example, you cannot make a histogram for the nominal and the ordinal data. You can make multiple lines, boxes, bars, etc. on the basis of nominal and ordinal data, but not on the basis of scale data. So be careful while defining your data. So for example, I want to make a scatter plot. I put it back because I want to make a scatter plot. Okay, with the axis, age of the family, and hours of study. And I want to set the color as per the gender, and that gender should be a nominal value. Okay. If you define wrongly the scale of the gender as say, suppose I make it scale by mistake, and I want to make the same graph again. So this is graph, chart builder, scatter plot. You see, I'm not able to take the gender here because it is a scaled variable. I'm trying to put gender here. I'm not able to do that. But the moment you make it gender as the nominal variable, then you can put it on your graph. Now you see, and this triple, Venn diagrams show that variable is defined as a nominal variable. Now you can get the charts. Otherwise, you can't get the charts. And friends, two important charts you will find. They are very, very important for us to understand the behavior of the data. Histogram with a normal curve. And we have already learned how to prepare a histogram of with normal curve. I do the same exercise again. Go to graph, chart builder, histogram, and suppose I reset it, histogram, and then I take hours of spin and display normal curve with this. Then I say okay. And interesting thing, you will find the data which you are having is not a normal data. High peak, that means you have a lot of, you have curtices in it. And the data is leptocratic. Okay, and there may be some extreme values here which you have to take care of. And that's the advantage of talking about histogram. Another important, very, very important and useful, plot is box plot. Okay, this is your quarter one. This is, sorry, quartile one, quartile three. This is your quartile two, which is nothing but median. This is the maximum according to some definition. This is minimum. And difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1 is called, any one of you can tell me what the difference is called? This is called interquartile range. IQR, interquartile range. Okay, and this upper limit is calculated by taking third quartile plus 1.5 of interquartile range, and the lower limit is calculated by considering Q1 minus 1.5 times of interquartile range. That's how it is being calculated. Okay. One of the advantage of box plot is it helps you in identifying outliers. Okay. Let me ask you one question. These are the two box plots, A and B. I need your comments on it. Santosh, can you tell me what differences we find in it? Yes, Amrina. Amrina, tell me what differences you see in it. Amrina. Amrina, can you talk? Yes, Amrina, can you tell me? You can unmute yourself, you can talk. Amrina, you can talk it now. Try. Okay, I think some problem is there. Some problem. Anyway, because I don't know who's trying to speak. Okay, so B
Sir,
is having.
Amrina cursor and talk. I've given her the rights.
Okay. B is having lower variation. That's one observation. B is having higher average. If you compare that, the median higher. That means by looking at box plot, you can get an idea about the measures of central tendency, that is the average. You can also get an idea about the
Yes, sir.
variation.
Now I can unmute. Sorry, that time it was a problem. It was
Right,
not
right.
unmuting myself.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Amrina. Amrina, I want your reaction to this.
Uh, so again, sir, actually that time I could not hear you even nicely. So what was the question? Can you repeat?
How do you see the difference in the behavior of the box plot C and D?
The difference in these two,
C and D.
the box plot C, the variation is high, whereas in the box
C and D. By and large, they are same variation, no difference.
okay, there's no variation, but in terms of average, there is a variation.
In terms of, this is the median.
In terms of median, there is a large variation, whereas in terms of
Right. Anything else? Anything else?
uh, one is no, that's the only thing I could observe right
Okay.
now.
I put this third one. Median is in the center. So if median is in the center, median is here, median is here. Do you see a difference? What statistical property I'm talking? Mona Verma is saying it is telling me about skewness. Yes. Yes, Mona, you are absolutely right. What does it mean? Box plot is a powerful plot. It helps you in understanding mean, averages, variations, and skew. Okay. And
Also,
depending
does it
upon
help
where
us
you,
in knowing?
hello?
Sorry, sir. Also, does it help us in knowing which measure of this variation will be better for us in measure the population? Like which measure of central tendency will be better to use for this population?
Uh, no, it doesn't say that, but it gives you graphically the idea whether their averages are going to be different or not. But actually, later on, you have to calculate exact numbers. Graphs
Okay.
are just suggestive. That's it, nothing else.
So one more query of mine was there from the previous topic when you were talking about the filtering of the data and splitting of the data sheet.
Hmm.
That time you said that like we can do a splitting in cases one for male and female both.
Yes.
Whereas for filtering, like, for a one particular data set, we can do the filtering. Can we do it like after splitting or filtering option on that? Like putting another criteria on the splitted sheet?
Yes, you can do that.
That is possible, right?
That is possible. But in that case, you have to build up a complex query.
Yeah, let's suppose if I really want to study among the males, how many of them have more than this
Yes, yes, you can do that. You can do that. So you have, in that case, you have to define a query. If male is
Very well, yes, right.
or female is, that complex query you can make up, and you can do that.
And can we do splitting in terms of more number of parameters, like it's just not male, female, or not just two? If you have more than two type of criteria, then can you
You
have a
can do
splitting?
that. Suppose you are having 5 categories, say, for example, class 8, 10th students, 11th class, 12. Okay. So you can have 3 categories. You can have processing for all the 3.
So we can have a finite number of categories.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. If quaternions are equispaced, then distribution is symmetric or no skewness. Sheetal, you are absolutely right. That's true. Okay, so Mino is asking, can we comment on the normality of the data through box plot? The answer is yes, you can do that, because if the median is exactly at the mid, then the distribution is a symmetrical distribution. Because the observation, the property of the normal distribution is that at median, my area is both the sides 50%, 50%. So yes, we can say that the distribution is, the normal distribution. And along with it, it can also help you in identifying outliers. Okay, so there are so many advantages of having box plot. It gives you idea about averages, variations, skewness, and outliers. Okay, let's see how do we prepare the box plots. Suppose I make a box plot for age group. So I just reset this, click on box plot, and I want to make box plot of hours spent. And you can see here, these are the outliers. They are not in this range. And your distribution is not a symmetrical distribution. Long tail it has on one side. And I'll just wait. I will come back to the calculation of the mean and the standard deviation. What is this 83? What is this 58? These are the number of observations in the data. Okay, so now you have a call what is to be done, and with regard to the outliers, should you ignore, should you not? That's the call the researcher has to take. Normally, we suggest that if you are, going for calculation of statistical measures like mean, standard deviation, etc., it is better if you avoid outliers. Okay. Suppose I want to make a box plot of the age for both male and female together. Let's see how can we do that. You go to graphs and chart builder, box plot, and select this. And I want separate marker for the gender. Sorry. This and gender on this axis. And now you can compare. By and large, you will find the age are same, and but male is having more extreme value, and averages and by and large same, not much difference. Females are having more outliers as compared to the male. That you can compare. Yes, Dr. Hussain, outliers have to be taken care of. Either you delete them, remove them, or you can replace them by some other number, depending upon your purpose, your reasoning, your rationale, your objective. Okay. And you can also describe your data by making tables, and you can have cross tabulations. And I show you how can you make cross tabulations, and into it, go to analyze, descriptive statistics, okay, and frequencies, cross tabulations. Suppose I take attitude on y-axis and age on the this. That's the cross tabulation. If you want percentages also, you go to analyze again, cross tabulation, format, cells, in that you take percentage row wise. For example, you get the row wise percentages. You can calculate the column wise percentages. You can also calculate, total percentage. So those calculations you can do by making the tables. Okay, so that practice you can do. I'm not going to do that. Once you are able to do the basic graphing, then you can determine the characteristics of a data in terms of central tendency, dispersion, and symmetry and pickedness. And please understand, symmetry, dispersion, symmetry, pickedness, they cannot be calculated for nominal data. Mean cannot be calculated for nominal and ordinal. But if you have a scale level data, you can calculate the mean. And process is very simple, as you have already seen. Analyze, descriptive statistics, go to descriptives. Age, for example, you can take hours spent. Okay, if you want options, you can have the variances, range, standard error of mean. You can have sum, you can have curtices, skewness, all things you can take. And then you say continue. Okay. So all descriptive statistics will be reflected. Dr. Avida is saying, can outliers impact the results? If not removed, the answer is yes. They are the extreme values. They will pull up the values of your estimates. So it is better to take care of your outliers. Okay. Look at this, how to make marks given by different interview panels comparable. And this is a practical problem I'm sharing with you, which we face in the admission of our MBA programs. So we have different panels, say 4 panels. And we observe that some panels are very liberal in marks, some panels are very miser in giving marks. Some are so-so, some are normal. And that means they are not, on the same length as far as the comparison and the marking is concerned. Santosh is saying moderation. I do not know what she meant by moderation. I don't know what she meant by moderation. Anybody else? How do we do it? No, we cannot give weight. We cannot give. Santosh is saying take the average. No. Normalization. Yes. Devinder Kumar is saying normalization. Nirja is saying standardization. But the question is how to do that normalization and standardization. So what is saying criteria? No. Okay. If you say criteria, I pick the criteria. My criteria is I want to make their marks comparable. And what criteria I should use to make their marks comparable. Jet transformation, the Nagor is saying, okay, right. But what that jet transformation does,
It standardized the normal variation.
but how it does that? Somebody know how it does that?
Simply by just subtracting the mean from it, that is scaling it down to a mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. It's
And the
minus mu
underlying
upon sigma.
assumption, you know what is the criteria I'm using? My underlying assumption is I'm making all averages to 0.
Exactly. I'm bringing down to all.
And all variations equal to 1.
Right.
That means what I'm doing is let's do a transformation in such a manner that all panels A, B, C, D, whatever they have, all is having same mean 0 and same variance or standard deviation 1. And that can be done by using what is called jet transformation. And jet, we all know, is nothing but x minus mean divided by standard deviation. And this is called standardized score. Yes, Sangeeta, that's how we get the standardized score. Once all scores are standardized, normalized, then we can compare and we can prepare the merit list accordingly. And friends, that's exactly what we do when we prepare our merit list from the marks obtained from different panels. And that's what different IIMs are also doing. Okay, let me show you how can you get the standardized numbers. You go to analyze.
Sir, we take another 10 minutes, sir.
Yes, not more than that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, so we wind up in another 10 minutes.
Analyze, descriptive. Do you see this option, save standardized values as variable? Save as standardized variables. Save standardized values as variables. Look at this option. Just click on it. And when you click on it, you say okay. Then if you go to your data sheet, data view, you will find jet score is being calculated. Jet for age and jet for, sorry. Z for age, Z for hours of study. And that's how you can standardize and you can, the uh, normalize your different variables. And many times, friends, you need it for having meaningful comparison. And SPSS is not an open software. This is licensed and paid. Okay. So covering data into the standardized, you can get the standardized score by clicking on save standardized values as variables. Okay. So what next, friends? Agenda that will be hypothesis testing. That's meant for the tomorrow, and that we would like to see discuss tomorrow. Any questions? If you have any one of you, any doubt, any query, anything. Okay, no questions. So thank you very much, friends. Thanks a lot. Enjoy.
So before we end,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Before we end this session, I I like to take this privilege to thank our dear very own Professor C.P. Gupta sir for his
Sure.
keen endeavor and knowledge in elaborating various aspects of SPSS in a lot detail. Sir, your examples and dynamic personality made us learn these concepts in a much simpler way. Thank you, sir, for taking out time for your busy schedule for us.
Anshika,
Uh,
thanks. Anshika, कहने की जरूरत नहीं है तुम्हें.
Sir, we always look
Pleasure.
forward to you for any query related to any aspects of research. We come up to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Anshika. And
Thank you,
how
sir.
to import the file from Excel to into SPSS, that I can take tomorrow. Okay,
Okay,
right?
thank you, sir. Thank
Right.
you.
Okay.
To all dear participants, all the feedback forms, links, and other details will be posted on the Telegram group itself. You are requested to kindly join the session tomorrow by 9:50. We will start on time at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.